Okay, I can't say I'm actually in my office doing anything in particular because I just came in here to do this video, basically. I was out working on my website, which I was doing from the living room computer, which is a little bit more convenient because I have an easy chair to sit back in and I can get right on. I'm having my website rebuilt type thing. I'll get into that some other time. But this video, specifically this video, is about two things. First of all is the response to my Iron Cross fidget spinner thing, which I don't have in here, so I'm going to go get. All right, I have it. It's right here. And I also brought in the wooden one, which I still have. That's right here. And the one that I made before I made the wooden one, and that's the steel one. And this should really illustrate what a difference it can make when you get on a trend or a fad right when it's happening. Or I thought I was actually a little bit late on this one right here, but it still managed to pile up nearly 10.5 million views at this point. And this one over here, I haven't checked it lately, but I think it's somewhere around 700,000. And then the same video that I made and I put it on this channel without the music has 120,000. Contrast that to this, which as of right now, I think has 20,000 views. And that is absolutely pathetic for nearly 2 days. Well, it's more than 24 hours later, for sure, since releasing the video. Well, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon now on Sunday, and I released it yesterday morning. So 20,000 views. I used to get that in the first, I don't know, 6 hours on some of the more popular projects. Up until recently when they stopped getting any notice whatsoever. Anyway, so that'll tell you something right there. Okay, I'm not gonna bitch and moan about, the fact that I'm not actually making any, not even enough to pay for that bearing that I used on this in that video, the total views I got. I'm not gonna talk about that, okay? Because I'm just going to keep making videos and putting them up and watch the views plummet. I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, I'm done talking about that. I got to talk about the shape of this thing here. And the shape of this goes back to the shape of this actually. And this is my steel one that's shaped like a star. And I call this a ninja star, a shuriken, okay? And at one point in the video, and I noticed this while I was editing it, I really played it up. It was upside down like that when I was drawing it. And I punched in on the thing real quick, and you should see the amount of comments that I've got on that video about the pentagram star or the devil star, or a devil worshiper, I worship Satan or whatever, because I put that upside down like that. And I showed it there. So that got me thinking about what other, controversial shapes are out there. And there's a really big controversial shape that I think that I would have been crucified by now if I had to use that. But, and I'm not making light of any situation that happened in the past. Don't get me wrong. But honestly, these things are just shapes. And this one here has a remarkably honorable tradition, a history to it. And it's not, and everybody that's half educated assumes that its only association is with the Nazi Party in Germany. And that's simply not the case. This goes on to today, as pointed out several times in the comments on that video. For as many views it did get a lot of comments, especially about that right there. So I don't know, part of me wants to stir things up and have some controversy And a part of that is just to see what the reaction would be. I knew when I did this one over here with the pentagram that it would get comments. I just didn't know to what extent. I thought, a few people would comment on it, but look, it seems like every second person was commenting on it on that. But this over here, this got way more negative reaction than I would have ever expected for this shape. And I chose this shape for that reason there. Also, it's got a kind of, it's closely associated with bikers. Now, I'm not a biker, and I don't condone some of the things that bikers usually engage in. But one of the things that bikers are kind of known for, or I don't know, some of the myth around them is that they're independent. They jump on the bike, they go here, and they don't follow rules. And I'm all for not following rules. So that was part of it also. So this is my entire justification for making this shape. First of all, because I knew it would get a reaction. Second of all, because I wanted to see what the reaction would be. I'm kind of an amateur anthropologist, I guess you could say, especially with the YouTube stuff, to see how people react. And also because it kind of stands for something in a way in my thinking. Anyway, okay, next one. I'm trying to do these videos in one take as much as I can without a whole lot of editing, because these videos won't get a lot of views. So I'm just doing these for my own personal satisfaction, and also to keep in touch with people that actually appreciate the work that I do and watch my videos. So I got a comment recently. I don't know how recent it was. I got a knack of saying certain words, like recently, even though it hasn't been recently. It could be a year ago that I got the comment. It was recently. And another one is actually. I say that a lot. And what else? I don't know. It'll come to me. I'll probably say it in this video. So I got a comment asking me what I was like when I was an apprentice, and like an apprentice carpenter when I was younger, just starting out in that kind of stuff. And I have to say that I was a pretty, and I've said this before actually, I was a pretty intense guy. There's a, I'm not going to make the comparison, okay, because it's just not good. But anyway, so I was an intense guy, and I was very much into it at the time, and I wanted to do everything, perfectly. Very interested in doing everything as well as I possibly could. And to be honest, I could do things really well. And I guess that came across in a lot of the way I talked and acted and all that. Because I picked up the arrogant, I picked up the arrogant label early on, and that was a good part of it right there. It's like I said before, if you're talented and you're proud of your talent and you're sure about your talent, that kind of oozes out anyway, and people take that as arrogance. And sometimes it is, and in my case it was back then. I was very arrogant, I was very full of myself, and I wanted to do everything perfectly, and that's fine if you're working for someone else, as long as they don't clue into that. That is, if you're working for someone else and they're paying you to do your work, and you want to do it, the best way you possibly can, then go for it. So anyway, if you're working for yourself, that has to change, because you have to juggle the time it takes to do something with the amount of money you have to charge to do something. And in that juggling, there's a kind of a teeter-totter point where you're going to say that I have to do things not as well as I would like in order to get it done for this much money. And then if I try to charge this much more money because I want to do it that much more better, then I won't get the work. It's as simple as that. So, I used to do like I didn't always do doors and hardware. I did carpentry and I did cabinet making for a long time too. And I installed kitchens and stuff I did a whole bunch of, that kind of related work. But the biggest money losing proposition that I was ever involved in was making furniture for people, individuals, like design and build a specific thing. And I absolutely lost my shirt on one thing. I'm not going to say I lost the house or anything. It wasn't that extreme, but I wound up working for probably somewhere around 40 cents an hour to finish this desk that I started. The desk wasn't anything too special either. The big thing about the desk is that it was completely covered with plastic laminate. That's Formica, for those of you that don't know, are not familiar with the term plastic laminate. That's the technical term for Formica, or the non-branded term for Formica and Arborite, and what's the other one? Wilson Art, whatever it is. And so it took me forever. It took me forever to get that laminate put on and get the things working properly. I made, like, the thing had drawers in the bottom 3, and it had a door over on the other side. A fairly big desk. Had a door on over the other side. I made the door, and then I put all the laminate around every edge of it, the back, front, sides, top and bottom, and went to install it in the hole where it's supposed to go, and damn, it didn't fit. So I had to cut it down and then reapply the laminate, and then the laminate that I put on didn't look right because it was on the edge and it overlapped the front. You're supposed to do the edges of the panel first and then do the front and the back. And therefore, if you have to size that down, you'd have to cut that off and then put the laminate. It doesn't sound like much, but it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb if you're really particular about the things that you do. So this is what I was up against. And I think I was like 4 weekends working on this damn desk that I only charged the guy maybe, I think it was $400 for. And at the time, I thought, that's going to be a snap. That's $400 in my pocket because, you know what, I got the materials right here to use to do it. But no, it took a lot of labor to finish that off. And that's it. This is what you have to look at whenever you're, doing something that you have to try to make money from. See, I know that there are quite a few guys out there that are watching woodworking videos on YouTube thinking that this is a possible way to make money as far as making furniture and selling it, or making crafts and selling it, or making, various. I've had people contact me over the years doing this about specific projects, if they could, copy it and build it and sell it. And I say, go ahead. If you can make money making that, and I'm not talking about my box joint jig or anything like that. I'm talking about other things. One in particular was my compact compass, actually. Someone contacted me about that, and they were going to make it and sell it. And I said, go ahead. If you can make money doing that, that's A-okay with me. So this thing is slightly unbalanced, but that's kind of making it fun to spin. It kind of wobbles your fingers around. So I'd rather have it like that than perfectly balanced.
Ron, you redacted all the information.
I answered some of them.
We need you to give real answers.
Fine.
How many drinks of alcohol do you consume a week?
1.
That's it? 1 drink?
1 shelf.
Do you exercise?
Yes. Love making and woodworking.
Do you have any history of mental illness in your family?
I have an uncle who does yoga.